A lot of employers now are considering whether to require their workforce to be vaccinated against COVID-19. And one of the things they're most concerned about, though, is whether they might be sued as a result of deciding to do that. So, to kind of get a feel for that risk, we've been following a number of the lawsuits that have been filed by employees challenging mandates from their employers to get the vaccine. So the first wave of those cases have been filed around the country in federal court in at least four different cases. And those cases have essentially been based on the argument that because the COVID vaccines have only been approved for emergency use at this point by the FDA, they haven't been fully approved, that these vaccines are experimental and it's a violation of federal law and on some other theories, improper or against the law for employers to require their employees to take them. So the employers in all those cases have moved to dismiss, and a couple of weeks ago on June 12th, a judge in Texas issued a decision dismissing that case, thereby upholding the vaccination mandate issued by the employer in that case, which was a private sector employer, which is a hospital in Houston. And in doing so, that judge basically said that the federal law cited by the plaintiffs doesn't provide them the right to sue or provide any additional obligations for the employers. It held that the mandate didn't fall into an exception under Texas law and its at-will employment doctrine, and dismissed the case and upheld the vaccine mandate. So we're keeping a close eye on those other decisions. The three other federal cases I mentioned were filed against public employers, so there were some additional legal theories there that weren't at issue in the Texas case. And the Texas case may also have limited application in other jurisdictions for a number of reasons, but nevertheless, certainly an encouraging outcome for employers that are interested in requiring employees to be vaccinated. Then much closer to home for us here in New York, there was a case filed just a couple weeks ago alleging disability discrimination. The plaintiffs in that case are women who are trying to become pregnant, and their employer mandated a vaccine. The plaintiffs cited fear for their health and their potential fetus based on kind of the unproven effects of the vaccine under those circumstances. And nevertheless, they were furloughed. So those, in that case, the plaintiffs have alleged discrimination under the New York City and the New York State human rights law based on disability, a failure to accommodate, and retaliation under the New York labor law. So that case is very early. As of this recording today, July 6th, the defendants haven't answered yet, and they may still move to dismiss. So we'll certainly keep an eye on all of those cases. So generally speaking, for employers who are considering requiring their employees to get vaccinated, there's really no way to entirely avoid a lawsuit if you decide to do that. Certainly the best thing to do is to comply with the EEOC's guidance, make sure that you're prepared to consider reasonable accommodations for any employee citing a disability or sincerely held religious belief, and certainly be prepared to engage in the interactive process with any employee who cites one of those reasons as not being able to get vaccinated.